plate. Oh, I care very much about getting in that bath right now. I do say, I have to declare. Oh. It's taking a little more time than usual. Yes, a little more time than usual. You are right, my lord. The candle is not lighting. It is being a bitch. Let's go. And a little bit of tea tree. It's okay. And rough. Hold it, let's leave a lighter down here in case we need to troubleshoot. I think, but a little bit of faith, we can do it. Yeah, because you gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. Oh! Ow! Oh! Kawamba! Shit. Oh man, okay. Yeah, that's good and hot. Excellent. No loss there. Whew. Oh, I gotta be careful. Oh, yeah. See, not a huge day, but still a big day. A big day for emotions. Big day for emotions. Shit. I gotta come home and not. Oh, man, fuck. Let's just get a little bit of this awesome food we just made here. Hot. Oh, fuck, that plate is hot. Shit. That's fucking amazing. Okay. Candle's going. We're getting in. We're doing that bath thing that we do. You know, and I've made it through the day. You know, I'm going through shock. You know, legitimately, I'm going through shock. As, oh man, oh yeah, okay. Good. You gotta do this. I mean, it's par for the course. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know how cold I got, but oh man, you get cold. Oh, yeah, on a warm day. Oh yeah, fire up the spine. Oh man, okay. And this is it. Once you get the torso in and stuff, it's like it's all cooking. And okay. Oh man. Oh yeah, just don't be. Oh. Oh, okay. Keep the head in. Ooh, good job, man. In my family, I can't help. I see violence done to people. I see violence done between people. I see violence done to me. Yeah, I see violence. You know? Oh, it's my V-sense. Oh, man. Holy shit. No. Oh. Oh, man. Please. Have mercy. Oh. That's a lot of heat. Oh, man. Oh. Kind of average meat, so that's good. I mean, that's good. We're well aware. We're good. And, yeah. Okay. Feet are hot. That's good. That's mean the bath is hot, you know? It's like, ooh, good. I take my feet out for a second. That's true. Oh, man. Oh, man. We're done. We're done, sister. We're done. Oh. Did you think I am Buck Rogers? Okay. We're there. Okay, it's low down. Low down, good. We'll come check on you. Right, and then, we'll give her a break. Oh, I'm prepared to say that was a humongous success. Oh my goodness. Oh. get some water. Go back in, okay? Go back in. Okay. Hello? Good. Okay, make yourself home, it's fine. Cow and bear. I put water on my face, my forehead, and I get vision sometimes across face in nature, leaves, the cow and the bear. The cow and the bear. Okay, let's head in. We can do this. Okay. Oh, okay. Legs in. Oh, that's how you really feel the strength in your back right there. Just be strong. Oh, come on. This actually shouldn't take long. Okay. Just gotta make sure I'm breathing okay. You gotta have a kind of, nice patter to you. Right in. Torso in. Nice and hot. Okay. Good. Just a nice fire up the spine. I could have even put a little more hot water. Oh, yeah. Good. Oh, feet are heating up. Good. Oh, take my feet out. Nice and calm. Okay. Keep the feet in. Just a nice gentle heat. Because it'll sneak up slowly. It's good. A little drainage, it's alright. Oh. I'm always thinking, I want to make sure I get to that point where I know for sure I'm done. But also want to take breaks. I've found a way to work in little breaks. And get the head in quickly if you can. Here we go. And then we'll do some incense. that head for 5, 6, 7 seconds, it means the world. Oh. And then, bath wasn't even as hot as it could be. And in a sense, the body's not as cold as it could be. So, I'm able to take a break. Very mild day. Very hot bath. Now let's just maybe put a little incense into the air. With some wonderful feathers. Treat. Then we'll have one more heat. Okay, clear everything evil, everything deceptive that I can feel, taste, touch, smell, and sense in every level of my feeling throughout all of my life, and what turns out to be all of my mother's life and father's life as well. Banish and resolve, banish and resolve, banish and resolve, sanctify, banish and resolve, banish and resolve, banish and resolve. So saith the Son of Man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And by the many signs and signals of the beasts around me, I do find great comfort in the love that nature honors me with throughout the day. Thank you, thank you. Okay, that's another nice little immersion. And just gets into that small of the bag. Good. All right, well, I think we're ready to go. Next stage. Calm, calm. Up. We take a chance, we turn off the light. Many leaves, muddy life. breaky. I just dropped the feathers, that's all. Good. We're down. We're down. Oh, fuck. Oh, we did it, man. We did it. Oh, God. Completion. Oh, God. Oh, man, the shock value alone. I don't need to go to the movies, man. Shit. Crying, shock, everything. Intense depression, sadness, grief, mother, father, denial, abandonment. It's like, whoa, what a day. And we recover. Food is okay, but we don't need it right now. Just gets a little water. It's just that first 15 minutes and first half hour. Oh. Okay, good. Really good. I mean, like, whoa, stupendous, man. Like, way to go. Way to go. What an athlete, man. What a finely tuned athlete. Oh, we be. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, just pop in, hop out. That's the way it goes, baby. Oh. Oh man. Off goes the rogue. Off goes the first layer. Oh, thank you. A layer of perspiration and human dew, that a woman may love me and learn to enjoy the stench, thereby, that my labors be purified by her forgiveness. For the great calumny which I might do to offend her olfactory system. Quite inadvertently, of course, for the necessity of my labors apes the dependency that she may have relied upon of inducing in me a sufficient amount of derision for myself as to prevent me from ever perspiring into that t-shirt again, and thus not being able to complete my work, nor able to celebrate its completion, and thus to begin to die from the cock up, down, and all around until the root finally just takes it and cannot have sex with her anymore, and needs to find a cocktail waitress. She divorces me, takes all my money, but at least I have my happiness and maybe even a little dignity, but not really. Thank you. Okay. That's just a really quick relationship for you, under, I think, 20 seconds or something. But, you know, they're frightfully entertaining. While they last, it's kind of like a lifetime, really. It's like, what does it feel like to you? A lifetime, really? A lifetime? Okay. Back in, folks. Back in, okay. We got leggings, we got everything, we got a fire. Oh, we know what we're doing. We've done this before. One day some woman is going to see me doing this and think, what is wrong with you? Nothing. I'm healing. Can't you tell? I'm healing from shock. I'm good at it. It's like one day people might even pay me money, I don't know, to help them heal from shock. Actually, at that point you would need help from a professional, like me and a professional, to like make up something, because I can't do that. But anyway, I can make crazy YouTube videos, that's all I can do. But I like writing and shit, inspired. I mean, I think it's like, whatever you do, like, it doesn't have to be a profession, it could be an expression. Oh, okay, alright, good. Wow, that was good. I'm comfortable, you know, I'm not bad. uh. It's so nice and quiet. Why is it so quiet? Why am I so lucky? I feel so quiet in here right now. Maybe because I stopped talking. So quiet though. I've never noticed how quiet it is. Hey buddy, where are you? Little breeze and the fan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I do not use the buses anymore. Today I sort of finalized my decision. I'm not using the buses anymore. In the area, I will not. I ran into a really strong young man one day at the bus stop, and I said, "Are you taking the bus?" He said, "Oh, no way." And something about the way this man, I heard a bit of his story, and now years later, I think, right on, man, I'm not taking the bus either. I like your attitude. It's not worth taking it. It's demoralizing. It's fuck it, you know. Why subject yourself to that? It is not even a healthy place to be. I would rather walk. These people are nuts. They're like pirates of the Caribbean out there, for fuck's sake. They should be bus drivers. Oh. No, that t-shirt's probably Hacienda. Hacienda, mucho, espedito, pasprino, fantacino, spaghettoi, a meatballi, a patacaloni. Hey, keep the calamari. Give me a calzone. Hey, when I eat food, I have to be angry. I want a pizza. What are you doing? Breaking my balls? I want a pizza. I want it round. I want it cheesy. Tomato sauce. Throw some meat on there. Pineapple, no. I'm a man, not a faggot. Hey. Nothing against faggots. I just, pineapple is for foo-foos. Hey, give me the pineapple. No, I'll have it out of the can separately, like a man. Pineapple in the round chunks. Round chunks of when you get those round chunks of pineapple, don't you wonder what happened to the rest of the pineapple? I mean, that's a huge waste. And that juice, what do you think that's made of? Oh man, how long has that been sitting around? Pineapple juice or pineapple ooze? It's like pine ooze. You're like, I love this pine ooze. New from Nescafe, pine ooze. It's an ooze of pine. Pine ooze. Get some now. And also a coupon for free medical attention. Get a coupon for Epicac. Kind of marry the two deals, yeah? Oh, a deal. What is a deal? Deal. 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 Dia, God. Al, deal. That's like, a deal is like a devil. A deal is a devil, right? You do a deal with the devil. A deal is a devil. You know that? A deal is a devil, right? Hey, it's a deal. It's a devil. A deal is a devil. Take it from me. A deal is a devil. Come to me now. A deal is a devil. A deal is a devil. Oh, fuck, my shoulder. The devil is in the details. The details. Tally
right? God's tally, tally ho, talia, God's abundance. The devil is in God's abundance. The details is what gets God his abundance. The devil is God's abundance. It's what he takes from you. The devil is how God takes from you. It's in the details. It's talia. Talia is the God that takes from talia, abundance. I'm telling you, people, I know my shit. I had Korean shit one day. I had Korean food one day. I seriously, and it felt like it came out like North Korean shit. It was a little brown and a little gray. It literally, I could tell exactly, I knew exactly what I ate. It was a big tray of Korean food, different kind of food than I normally eat. And it was kind of a little gray. It was like, still good consistency, but it's like, ooh, is that how they crap in Korea? Because if that's true, I'm not going there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, oh God, I'm back. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. It just takes a while to get better. You'll be okay, honey. Just rest. Relax. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, I remember nothing. I know nothing. But the devil is in the D. A tally, like a tax or talia, abundance, currency. So, dia, God, or, getting from. So the devil is in the details. The devil is God taking from the abundance of the earth. The devil is how God, gets the deal done. Right? You make a deal with the devil. Every time you make a deal, you're making a deal with the devil. Deals are made by the devil because they're always taking something and giving it to God, taking something of the earth's abundance. And God is the devil, right? It's the same person, right? So, I try to teach. I try to enlighten. I try to think that generations will come after me and be like, he was a witch, he was wild, he was wise, he wanked off a lot, or he said he did, but I think he went for weeks at a time without really feeling a great desire to touch himself, and sometimes he was glad because all he could find was 19-year-old girls who seemed to get fond of him when he bought his various sports drinks on his way to walking around and, well, wanking off, essentially, in the full glory of the full thing of being a wanker. What are you? I'm a wanderer. I'm a wise man. He's a wanker. Yep, that will do also. Wanker. I want to get a t-shirt that says wanker. Wanker. Nobody's ever done that. I wonder if they let you. Or like bullocks. It's like a bull's balls. A bull's locks. Or loss. Locks can be like things with water that help like boats move from one elevation to another. A lock system. That's interesting. And, I mean, if you think about a lock, it usually has grooves that rise and fall a little bit, so it's like rising and falling levels of water. A Loch Ness monster. The monster of locks. And a monster can't own or inherit property. He has locks placed upon him. He can only move through graduated levels where he's always in a place of financial insecurity. You notice that more people have money, the more insecure they are because they're never really fully secure. They never really get to anchor themselves down. I've been walking the same area for 4 years, and it's been something. I mean, if I would talk about my experiences, they would sound a little creepy, probably in some cases. I mean, I think I take a fairly deep and fair measure of the environments where I go, and everybody's bound to have certain experiences. Like you would go to the same place, you'd have different, you'd have nothing like the experiences I do, but nonetheless, they are remarkable to me, and I think they could be remarkable to others. Uh, it's amazing. So I came out of that bath pretty good. Body's nice and hot. Quite a day, really. Very difficult. My body's wet. My body's wet. Yeah, my body's wet. I wanna lick I wanna lick your pussy. I wanna lick that pussy from the crevice to the crack. I wanna sing like Jesus when he gets a little back. And if I'm the kind of man that likes a certain kind of luck, I'll roll that lady over till she gives a man a buck. Hey, oh no, 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 no. Hey, I wanna lick that pussy from the crevice to the crack. I wanna see like Jesus when he gets a little back. I wanna be a man that needs a certain kind of luck and rolls that lady over till she gives that man a buck. Hey, da na 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 na. I wanna sing like Jesus when he gets a little back. Hey. I made that up today on the way home. On the way home, in my bare feet, I'm like, I cannot say this to anybody, but it is funny and also very enjoyable to sing. It is the song of a wild man whose songs no one should know. Oh, what does he sing? I don't know, but it's got to be crazy. I want to lick that pussy from the crevice to the crack. I want to sing like Jesus when he gets a little back. I want to be a man that needs a certain kind of look. He rolls that lady over till she gives that man a buck. Hey, no, 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 no. I want to lick that pussy from the crevice to the crack. I want to sing like Jesus when he gets a little back. Whoa, when he gets a little back. Whoa, yeah. Okay, change t-shirt, apparently. We need a wardrobe. Wardrobe. There's a word. Wardrobe. Ward. Robe. And your robes are wards of the war. They're fascists. They control you. Fashion controls you. You think you control yourself through fashion, but I see women trying to be fashionable. They're controlled by the fashion. They will only be people who wear costumes, and it's addictive to wear a costume because you feel like you're really being yourself. When you wear a costume, it's like it liberates you in a way. It's like you've got to dress. My dad tried to drill into you, Landon, you've got to dress a certain way. You've got to dress. And the more he did, the less I wanted to. It's like I could sense that it was bullshit. If he had just left me alone, I might have picked it up by myself. But it was like, as I've gotten older, I got used for the taste of like just wearing whatever the fuck I want to. You know? And one day when a big decree comes down from the government that people can walk around naked if they want, I'll be the first one to stroll around with my dick as fair as can be. And women will stare and go, wow, they're actually quite small. And other women will explain to them that sometimes they are quite small when they don't, when it's cold out or when they just, maybe have a lot on their mind. And it's okay because with a little warmth, you can tease that baby out and it starts to look like a real wanker. It starts to look like Italian sausage, It starts to stretch at the nipples. Oh, okay, that's enough. Okay, we're back in. I hope that's the last wardrobe change. Yeah, so you think warbobe, fashion, sartorial, torture, bull, sartor, artorial, royal, royal torture, right? Because all fashions are created by royalty. It's all masterminded all over the world. Fashion comes down from on high. A lot of it, anyway. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right? Remember fashion? Fascist. Fashion. Fascist. Uh, and then fash, and then hist, like hysterectomy, right? Fashioning her reproductive system, owning her, right? She becomes like a walking vagina, a walking tulip. You know, you ask her name, it's like it's her vagina's name. She asks her the weather, it's like the vagina's weather. If you ask her to talk about her philosophy, it's like the philosophy of a vagina, you know, because of what she's wearing. It's like, wow, your vagina smells good. And she's like, it's all representing the vagina. The vagina, in a way, has breasts and a mouth and a beautiful spirit. And she's like, hi, don't mind the vagina I'm standing in. I just think you're neat. Oh, would you like to come inside here and have some milk and cookies? Oh, that is so good. That is so good for Daddy. Daddy likes that. Daddy likes that. He doesn't want to touch himself. It's like a cigarette. It's like in a giant mountain, like Paramount Pictures kind of mountain. Where like, hey, there's Landon. Paramount Pictures. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, everybody, don't watch the films, motherfuckers. Oh. 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 It's taken me like 3 weeks or a month to relax. I'm just finally there. My shoulder was hurting today and everything. I think all that sadness came out of my shoulder. I really do. I think it was like, holy shit. There's sadness in there from my mom and abuse and stuff. And it just all seeped out of my tears eventually. It's like, wow. It's like I was walking around for like 20 minutes with tears streaming down my eyes. I'm so glad nobody walked by. Like, I knew I'd be safe. I just knew. It's like, okay. You ever just wanted to cry? I mean, it was more than that. It was intense. It was like my life. I was crying for my life. I was crying to my mommy and daddy, and, everything, childhood and all the things that just like, where did it go? Where did it go? Where are you? Actually, my first film that I wrote, the character, which I got my mom and dad to star in, the character is sort of an adopted orphan, and says, "Mom," is walking in a forest and going, "Mom, Dad, where are you? Mom, Dad, where are you?" And I got my little brother to do the voice, so I got parts of my family to do different parts of the film. Mom, Dad, where are you? Mom, Dad. My parents had no idea what I was putting into that film, and they knew even less what I put into my first novel. And it's like, I wasn't even thinking about being a writer. It wasn't writing. It was like just whatever I had to do, like to, it's like what I had to do. I went to my room. There was a trellis, my grandfather, grapes, and very, very simple, unfinished room with just cement painted walls and some gyprock my grandpa probably put up. And I should have thanked him every day I slept in the room that there was even gyprock on it. Thanks to him. Thanks to him. And a simple little bed and a stand with probably a clock radio or something. And maybe I had it was so beautifully simple. A friend had once, not a friend, but anyway, someone from school would come over and said, "Where's all your toys?" I had no toys. I had a closet full of, notebooks from school and maybe a Frankenstein's mask that I'd worn one day and discovered that I was not shy when wearing a mask, and then also tried to fuck with my penis and ripped his mouth, and I just could never look at him the same again. I couldn't bear to throw him out, but I thought, damn, sorry, Frank. I kind of messed up there, and I actually tried to sew it back together and try again. I figure he's Frankenstein. He's used to having a few stitches here and there. It wasn't as fun as you think it is. But in a way, Frankenstein gave me my first and only real blowjob. It's like, man, thank you, Percy Shelley or Mary Shelley. Oh, God, what a fucking imagination these people have. Frankenstein. What does that even mean? Frankenstein. What is a stein? Is that a glass or something? There's so many is Bernsteins, but I guess not German. Frankenstein. Franken. This is where you would need some other language, Finnish or German or something. Frankenstein. I don't know. There's rank. Rank. A Frank could be, I guess, a French person. That would make more sense, maybe. A Frank and a Stein. A French person and a German person. Maybe Frankenstein is what happens when you make a French German with a German person. It's like, you get a Frank, it's like, I don't know whether to be a fascist or a Nazi. Maybe I'm just a racist white person trapped in a Frankenstein's body. I'm now having a heavenly pink indica, scenting the air with my constantipation. Did you know? I've always wanted to talk to someone and be like, did you know? And then make them really listen to me for once. Like, did you know? After an old woman talks to you for like 20 minutes, be like, yes, did you know that when I was in the Bourbois with my friend Buxley from the 3rd Regiment, a bloody good bloke, couldn't shoot for a damn, shot some lead up a camel's ass while we were sitting on the camel. Or at least I was. Buxley was round the back, trying to fuck him. Camel fought back, Buxley shot back, and well, that's how we got to Egypt in 13 minutes. Good old Buxley, I say. Wonder where is he now? Probably bloated with syphilis. I don't have any real stories. When I was in grade 9, awful experience. This torture called public speaking. And no one, believe me, no one is more shy than I am. The shyest person has some kind of story they can tell. They can get up in front of people. I don't care what you're saying. I mean, but anyway, the thing was, the stupid exercise working up to the big speech day was everyone needs to get up and tell a story from their life. I guess this was considered easier. This was considered like some kind of easy, like, what? I didn't have any friends. I didn't story from my life. And of course I don't remember a single story anyone in that class said. Not a single fucking story. Like, forget it. You think I would have been getting some ideas from the other stories, but nope. In fact, someone in the class was like, pick Landon. And it's like, okay. And I actually had prepared a story. You're not going to believe this. From a value tale called The Wright Brothers. And I actually just took a story right from there and everyone in the class was just gobsmacked that I didn't understand the exercise was to tell a story from your life. I literally just told a story. I think somebody were like, that's not a story from your life. That's from a book. But anyway, I got away with it. The teacher didn't say anything. It's like, fuck, I didn't have any stories. You don't want to tell me a story about my parents fighting until we crying in the bedroom until eventually the police come. Like, you know, that's my big story. Or the time I went on the roller coaster, woo, that was good. You know, I don't have 5 minutes of stories. Like, I don't know, like, no, the girl who's no pussy I ever wanted to see. I mean, I wish I could have got up there and be like, I want to lick that pussy from the crevice to the crack. I want to sing like Jesus when he gets a little back. I want to be that kind of man that needs a certain kind of look. And roll that lady over till she... Roll that lady over and smoke her till she gives me a buck. Smoke her in the wagon and I smoke her in the barn. I smoke her with a flagon of Druid's favorite yarn. I think at the forest and the treetops where they dwell, the mist of many mountains and a heaven with a hell. Hey, oh no 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 no. Hey, no 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 no. Anyway, I think I've done enough. What am I doing? Who am I? Answer these questions now. Important questions. Who are you? Where are you going in life? Where have you been? Are you a good person? Why haven't you seen a vagina ever? What's wrong with you? Answer these questions now. Immediately. Correct your ways. Find a vagina. Get a job. Have some money. You need money for vaginas. Money for vaginas. It's like, to me, like, if you're going to raise enough money to get a decent hooker, you might as well just take a regular woman out for dinner and bang her. You know, it's like, it's so much cheaper. It's like, you know, I see why, you know, if you put yourself out there a little bit, what do you got? $100, $200, and you can basically do whatever you want to most women in the area. I mean, in fact, less than that, most women I've met, you know, you just have to like be invited over their house and they want to bang me. So what do I need a hooker for? I just need a woman who wants to bang me. Maybe a carpenter. Carpenter. Car, as in death. Car means death. Did you know that your car means death? Yeah, anyway, it does. Anyway, car, pen, like a jail. Death jail. Torture again. Tor, tear. Right? Death, chamber of torture. Carpenter. Jesus was a carpenter. He creates a chamber of torture for everybody. A new children's book. Jesus fucking Christ, the chamber of torture. For children 5 to 10 years old. Back in the days of Galilee, Zebediah gave birth to Jeremiah, who met with Martha and did lay with her in many wonderful ways that led to Isaac, Nabob, and Abednego. The children are like, hey, this feels good for me, Daddy. I'm getting to see how sex works. But then Sarah was barren, and the Lord said to Sarah, your vagina is dry, his sperm is weak, and your uterus is prepared to kill anyone that actually gets to the egg. You haven't ovulated or menstruated in 13 years since you've been on the Russian bobsled team. I think we need to change something. Oh, God. Oh. think I could maybe change my pants. Like an old man changing his pants. You're like an old man changing his pants. He's an old man changing his pants. Don't worry, he hasn't crapped his diapers. He's like an old man changing his pants. He doesn't have to worry 'cause the sawdust has already arrived. He's got sawdust all over the place. Doesn't matter what happens, there's no disgrace. It's called Old People, the musical. Oh, shh, shh. Oh. He's just an old man. It's no disgrace. He's got sawdust all over the place. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, let's get some fresh air. He's a mojito. He's a wild man. He's got a tan, but he's a wild man. He's a wild man. He's got a really cool tan, and he's a wild man. He's got a really cool tan. He's a wild man, and he has a really cool tan. Oh, a wild man has a really cool tan. Oh, that's a TV show. He's a wild man with a really cool tan. He's a wild man with a really cool tan. He's a. What can I tell you, guys? He's a wild man. What can I tell you? He's a wild man. Yeah, he's a wild man. Basically, he's got a really good tan. More so than he's a wild man, although he is a very wild man. The main reason that girls like him is not because he's a wild man, it's because he has a kind of wild tan, you know? He's like wild tan. They think of him as like a bronze angel. And they approach him with a certain consternation as to whether or not they could accommodate what is surely his considerable girth. You know? They sometimes call him Girth-a-roni. Which is unfortunate because it rhymes with macaroni, which was a nickname that little boys teased him about his penis when he was in gym class. He used to call him Macaroni Maroni. But now he's the wild man with a wild tan. And he's shy. People give him a lot of attention. He's like, he doesn't realize that he can use their superficial interest in his merely physical facade, beautiful as it is, in order to procure from them things which he needs, like vaginas. But then there's this voice in his head, which is played by me, and I go, wait a second, don't they have miserable diseases? And it's like, don't worry, they have antibiotics for that. No, the women, there's diseases, there are no antibiotics. You are the antibiotic. There's no antibiotic, for a bus hitting you when you're crossing the road. And that way, women are like the bus. You got to make sure you don't go on the street in front of the bus. You have to use your head, Your immune system has to include your ability to refrain from getting in front of the bus. I am a firm believer in taking your balls by the rod and stroking them for all they're worth. Who is this man, you may ask? Who is this blurred out image? Maybe he's a part of me that's never really become clear. Perhaps he's a part of all of us that's a little foggy. I need a foghorn. That's a bad horn. Okay. Oh my goodness. What a day. A day from destiny. I just can't believe how much I leave out there. These medicine cards, absolutely accurate. Fuck. In the day that I had, what's the card under this? Oh man. Oh man. I just leave it all out there, guys. It's like I leave it all out there. It's out there, it's like licking that pussy from crevice to crack. Singing like Jesus when he gets a little back. It's just, I've never really licked the vagina from crevice to crack. I would like to try that one day with alcohol, to disinfect it first. Maybe some kind of like blackberry vodka to mask the stench. In fact, get like some kind of surgical tent that they use for people getting periodontal surgery or something, and then just sort of pry back the lips and put like plastic bands around them, and then really just see if I can probe them and not succumb to the urge to just lick and feast and suck, but to really penetrate the mystery that lay before me in this brief interval of time where I have access to its deep undulating folds. A tongue depressor might be useful. Perhaps just the lead of a Bic pen, or the lid, I should say. Maybe one of those like really interesting things you can get on your finger that have kind of a metal fingernail that comes out. Ouch. Feels like a little tin man fucking you. Okay. Oh, he's giving me one of those little tin fucks. Oh, look at him. He's got a tin fucker. He's a tin fucker. He's a tin fucker. Shut up. He's a tin fucker. You tin fucker. You're a tin fucker. That's okay. You're a tin fucker. That's alright. Tin fucker. Tin fuckers incorporated. Tin fuckers. I think teenagers would like me. Because I'm like, Tin Fuckers Incorporated. Tin Fuckers. Yeah, of course, there are other types of fuckers as well. Don't just get stuck on one kind of fucker. There's not just tin fuckers. There's 5-finger fuckers. There's good old traditional phallus fuckers. I like them phallus fuckers. They go for the old traditional approach, allowing her to accommodate their natural, unornamented girth. In very short order, they are attempting to emulate the greatness of my penis, which all women secretly crave. The ultimate dick. Some say it's a legend, some a myth, others just a wind, a pussy fart in a barn coop. But to me, it's real. The ultimate dick. It's quite a burden, really. If you were to all of a sudden have my dick, you would feel a lot of weight between your legs. You might even get a little pelvic sag. That's where the man's penis pelvis starts to collapse and begins to look like a woman's carriage. Imagine a teacher named Miss Carriage. Miss Carriage? Did the dingo eat your baby? I don't think the dingo ate her baby. I don't think Meryl Streep ate her baby. Well, do you ever think that maybe Meryl Streep's character had a pet name for her vagina, which just happens to be baby? And the dingo ate her baby. There's nothing to do with her infant baby. The dingo ate her pussy. She is admitting to the lesser crime of animal oral stimulation. At the same time, she's giving the dingo an alibi. She must really like the dingo. She must really like that dingo. Damn, she must really like that dingo. Ate her pussy, all right. I couldn't have killed my baby. The dingo was eating my baby. Maybe the baby was eating my dingo. The baby ate my dingo. She had an order of dingoes and the baby ate it. It's like, the baby ate my dingo. So I left it there in the desert. Ugh. What if down the street they had dingo bingo? And she found her baby there, cleaning up. Oh my goodness. I just had a gluten-free bread, multi-grain canyon gluten-free bread, 2 pieces, very lightly toasted, with French's mustard and jalapeno kettle chips, and it was fucking delicious. I think I should have a little mustard in every day. It's kind of gross, but it's okay. I try to have a little mustard in every day. I don't want my dinky to ever go away. What if mustard is good for your dick? At this age, I really think that anything good for my dick is good for me. I mean, seriously. I need as many things that are good for my dick as possible at this point. I mean, if anyone has any suggestions, sure, there's ashwagandha. Sure, I could pulverize it with one of those mortar and pestles. I always felt like something, it could be used at some point for something very ceremonial and very personal. A mortar and pestle isn't just for peppercorn and other exotic aromatics. It's for sticking your dick in there and really just saying, gladiators, welcome to the show of the century. Present the contestant. And you slide your dick in there. It's like, are you ready to potentially be pulverized as you compete with the mortar to occupy the pestle? Oh, yeah. Get out of here. You are slightly advantaged by the fact you are semi-erect. If you were flaccid, you'd be mine. Okay, next on tonight's channel of The Price is Right, we have 3 babies. Name your price, audience. This baby's from Nigeria, recently taken from the cradle by Nigerian bandits at night and peddled over the open ocean on a beautiful little shanty ship that nearly sank 7 times. We call this one Lucky Blue. This one we found at a little princess contest in northern Kentucky. We just traded her with a Cabbage Patch doll, and 3 days have gone by and they haven't missed her. I just make this shit up as I go along. I just make this shit up. This just comes out of my mouth. I just have a hard fucking day at the bowels of hell itself, alone and lost and lovelorn, cracked and frozen and sad, stricken by shocks which I cannot fully describe to you, for I am cloaked in madness. I'm so glad to be home and to be able to sit here and smoke some weed in my own fucking apartment where no one can fuck with me. You're like, do people fuck with you? I mean, like, what's wrong with you, dude? Like, you go outside and people, like, fuck with you? Like, who do you think you are? Nobody's fucking with you. I never see anyone fucking with anyone. Jeez, I'm thinking, I wish we did see more people fucking. I wish I went downstairs in my apartment, like in a brownstone in Manhattan, and some beautiful girl was getting banged. I mean, I don't want to do it, but like, hey, 30B. Good position. Gives a lot of possibilities for rear entry. Have a good day, everyone. I mean, that's the kind of world I want to live in, Cool world. Maybe a little jazz, Why can't people just fuck in the streets? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, why aren't we fucking in the streets? Why aren't people just allowed to bend each other over and be animals? Maybe it would take the fun out of people like Donnie and Ozzie Marie, but I think that fucking your sister under some conditions is okay. Now, that's probably from watching porn, but I think you could legitimately say that some sisters are pretty hot. I mean, okay, hold on. They're not your real sister, but you get to call them sister. I'd like to have a prostitute and be like, can you pretend to be my stepsister? I'm like, oh, bro, that's no problem. Do you want to see my bedroom? I have an extensive animal collection. And in this drawer, a series of penises, which I will insist you fuck me with in deference to that little thing you call your wang. Yes, master. That's Empress to you. Okay, Empress. Oh, man. I don't know. What is the age at which I would cease to want to see a girl touching herself? Yeah, here's the thing. I don't want to ruin my childhood fantasies by really seeing it. So I'd probably stick above the age of 25. I'm going to say, let's see, my mom was 26 when she gave birth to me. So I think 26. In honor of my mom. Okay, next subject. Turn the page. Another corner of our lives has begun. One door closes and another window opens. We crawl through it. Police come. They don't see anything. We live another day to case the joint. Maybe stick some shit we can't even see into a bag. Hop outside and run down the street going, whoa, I wonder what the fuck I got. And open it up and be like, it's bearer bonds. Who keeps bearer bonds in their living room? I don't know. I think there must be. Oh no, there's a tracking device. Quick, I'll stick this over here and make a run for it. Here, kid, take this. Oh, I hate the word kid. It's also dick backwards, right? Kiddick, dickid. Little dicky, dicky D, like dick, kid, dick. Kid is like a sacrificial goat. Child, chill, chai. But then child is also a soldier. Isn't that interesting? Child is also a soldier. Kid is a sacrifice. So why don't we just call them little fuckers? It's like, seriously, be like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I take care of a bunch of little fuckers. I have a few fuckers of my own, but I take care of other fuckers as well. Little fuckers, sorry. I mean, once they get bigger, we don't call them little fuckers anymore. We just, we call them, well, adults. Little fuckers become big fuckers. We don't call them big fuckers anymore. Little fuckers. I love them little fuckers, though, really. I mean, I've got 30 little fuckers tomorrow at 9 a.m. And they sit there with their little fucker faces, looking up at me, hoping to find some hope, some kind of anodyne to the challenges of the 8-year-old girl or boy. Nothing like the kinds of challenges they might have in 3 or 4 years when their hormones start pumping some kind of hacienda Hotel, California, coming down the pipes and picturing trains going through tunnels and rockets blowing off. There's some little steam by burying themselves in a moon full of cheese. And now maybe that doesn't sound so appetizing, but it shouldn't, because you should curb your appetite for the opposite sex. They call them opposite for a reason, because they are your enemy, and you shall stay away from them. The penis is only to be used for defense. The only reason you should be grabbing your balls is to prevent her from doing so. Alright? Okay, man. Now go. I'm feeling there's some gay man that would really understand that. I think I'd be a good gay man. If I really picked a side, I would I'd give gay dinners and I'd be like, hey, my gay friends, come and sit at my table. Or rather, sit at my table and come. It's like, what is that stereotype that gay people all just want to, oh yeah, let's just fuck. All right. Okay, hold it. Reverse, reverse. Hello, Sanguine, Selena, Neptune, Regina, and Filipio, and Fellatio. Welcome. Tonight we have a fondue of croissant Middletons and Verona baguettes. We also have a pot of boiling sewage, which I've added pepperoni and peppercorn to, plus some slices of avocado, plum, and peanut butter. I also added some fish guts from the local cannery. The smell, though, is not the fish guts, it's what the cat did to it. Which I don't want to say the word urine, but I think you're in for a treat. Okay, here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, said the man to the man. Here, kitty, kitty, said the man to his hand. Gonna stroke that penis as fast as we can. Hey, kitty, kitty, said the man to his hand. We're gonna stroke that penis hard. We're gonna make that penis hard. We're gonna take that little bit of strudel and say, hey, lap diddle and a diddly day. Come down the path, maybe there's a girl there. Might let you touch her hair. Might let you touch her there. There's an ass in the barn, there's a duck in the sky, there's a man by a lake that wonders why the dragonfly is nowhere near. Then he sees him right down there, maybe in her pubic hair. You see what I did when I moved those words? A little bit like the bees and the birds. I have a little penchant for the taste, something that makes me haste. I really don't want to chase. I don't want to chaste myself. I really do wish to share my nectar with others. I really do wish to romp in a winter wonderland with a suitably attired female of reasonable age, breeding, and with clean bill of health, laws, blood, urine, perhaps even some anal discharge, if we're lucky. Don't tell me it's all right. It's just a cleaning process, and then we can be ready to explore the various spelunking opportunities which our bodies afford to lovers, ready to just begin touching, begin licking, begin thinking about looking into each other's eyes like, it's so beautiful. Their eyes, don't they just appeal to you? Don't they shine down for you from the cerulean deep and say, what is it about you that makes me want to come in your face? And then it's like she's ditto. And you're like, you're a slut. And she's like, you're a pervert. And you're like, this is our first fight. And she's like, I've already come in my pants. And you're like, wow, really? Yeah, you do that to me, honey. You do that to me. You're so powerful. You're so virile. I want to keep it a secret, like, I just lay out the underwear in my home, on the, that bay window, and I lay it out on a string with little hearts saying, COVID is also a creature that deserves our love. And I have my wet underwear there drying. And little children see it on the way to church and think, oh, Mother Mary probably wears that underwear before she gives birth to that static discharge known as the Aurora Borealis. What? Something happened there. Something slid between. A new frame, a new image, a new history. Everything's gone. You forget history. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Touch your balls. You're okay. Haronda, Subaru. Okay. You're like, what world war? Exactly. The Aurora Borealis came and everything changed. We now live in a world of utter peace and unmitigated reckless pleasures, abandons. You can walk through the woods and come in your own hands. You can just hear people tittering in the distance. They never really get to any serious fucking. It's like they really just like licking each other's ears that much. Also, something is always funny, and you're like, yeah, come to think of it, this is pretty funny. It's like, why haven't we been doing this forever? I mean, what the fuck? No, don't even ask it. Don't even start thinking about it. Don't ask why, don't ask what.
And you're like, yes, I know it. I can feel it instinctually. No one ever asks too many questions. That's how it all works. Shh, don't have any questions. I have no questions. I accept perfect, unmitigated beatitudes of beatific bonifications of best laid plans and bona fide, well, boners. I think it's all true. Everything beautiful and good and great. And it has won. Nothing, really. What was it fighting? Who knows? It has not won. It has not overcome. It has not been restored from some awful grave where it has languished in absolutely apoplectic, mute agony. What are you talking about, you retard? It's all here. Nothing. What? Who knows? We don't need poets anymore. It's all just, Yeah, man, you know? Yeah, I know. Hey, I know too. What do you know? We all know. I'm going to have a drink to that. We're there. We're there, everyone. We've made it. If you had a hard day, that was the last of the hard days. We've actually made it. Have you ever wondered, you're like, oh, the egg is boiling already. Oh, the cheese is melted perfectly already. I mean, we're there at the mall already. I mean, I didn't even. What? That's right. Peace is here. You didn't know it was coming. They didn't tell you. They didn't have to. Here it is. All right, everybody. We're having a little cheese of peace pizza. Here we go. Now, I must confess, it is hard living with a giant penis. It takes a lot of my blood flow. If I do see someone whose hips and the precise shape of their body makes me feel like I would want to wander into the sacred magical garden and move through some of the tangled brush. Maybe some birds would flit out, a little bit of cobwebs over here. There was some dirt that was a little too soft, and I wonder if maybe I shouldn't have stepped there. But I don't hear anything. The trees start moving. Click, click. Sometimes a sound, like a ghostly howl, or some sudden confession of my breast which has been taken up by the dryad spirits of my kindred land. Or perhaps just pausing, stuttering, my penis not sure whether to go at half-mast or full, or whether or not to just burn the entire flag and point everything in a very southern direction and bury myself to China, where I would order Chinese food, which doesn't have really anything phallic about it, except there is a lot of seafood, and then I look back at it and think, it's a lot of effort to avoid touching this vagina. It is very, very near. It is attached to a very pleasant lady who does me a great kindness by revealing her reproductive system to me this early in the evening. I hope she can't hear me talking to myself, but rather this silence will drag on so long that in its span I should conceive of a great pain, a great ode, and I shall call it the sun. The sun that makes this all happen. The sun that is the life, the truth, and the way. And no one should come to heaven but through the sun that crowns the land. What it takes to be open and alone and look up at the sun and say, this is the sun. This is the same sun that we all should want of, and all that we should want. Heaven, where the rain falls upon many desires, and amber jewels seep out of the trunks of sacred wood and wild. My voice can take the weighty burden of such vaginal discharges and call them mine own. And you should know that the sound of my voice has been driven here by forces which I regret I cannot describe. adequately, for they move with such a force and spirit, but I know that they love me, and that they should escape even my notice, that I should be unable to adequately account for my providence, but that some forces have driven me thus, like a single grain of sand through a mighty desert. And that it speaks and feels and speaks of some past, certainly some mighty hunger for the future that should last alway. It remains but a grain of sand among the ocean of the same. And what should you make of that little grain of sand? I think to myself. What should you make when your world is so uniform, but yet so perfectly well defined? No so perfect a definition as could be negotiated between the earth and the sky at every point of their convergence, at every circumference of their confluence. Now, you might wonder, what the fuck is this guy talking about? You might think he's reading from some kind of script by Neil Malkovich or Bergund Tennyson or Fern Gussie, people whose names I just made up. But you will think of names which actually make sense. And of those names you shall wonder, and you shall beg of them some ready clarification as to the precise nature of what you're hearing and its meaning, that if provided some suitable context, some jargon, some local story, fable, or something from your media, it would all of a sudden make sense. Like, this is one of those. This is a meme. This is a driveling, mad virgin on the virgin of Thelma and Louise running off the cliff and into him while he's masturbating by himself on a rock at Black Bluff. And they're like, and he's like, oh, God, yes. Oh, God. And to this day, if you go to that ravine, you're just like, oh, God. Our body parts mixing together, the propane or petroleum inspired inferno, flash, holocausted, incinerated, and yet joined in waves of 10 million merciless waves of orgasmic shocks that are absorbed instantly by the wastes of earth and sky, live even now upon my lips, winds passing hither and yon. Whither should they go, and whither should they come? Who knows whether the sun also rises? Perhaps it doesn't also do anything. Also rises. What else does it do? Indeed. What else does it do but rule the fucking world with a lamp of stone that you shall know one day when you have bid your heart its reclamation by sounds which only the lonely may hear at the uttermost. And you will journey, and there are hungers which will grow, which know the words which I speak, and find their doom quite hard to resist. And those of you who are still saying, what the fuck is he talking about? I am talking about precisely about. You want to know a word, one thing, easy peasy? What am I talking about? Like clear and unmistakable, literal, didactic, pedantic, eccentric, aberrant, anomalous. Mostly, I look at this label of nutrition facts, the valeur nutritive per bottle of 480 milliliters. Par bottle, fruite et milliliter. Calorie, 50 calories. Calcium, 0. I love it when they tell you that it has 0. 0 calcium, 0 potassium, 0 iron, 0 cholesterol, 10 milligrams of sodium. Oh, that's interesting. 12% sugars, but cane sugars. Basically, it has nothing but sugar. Okay. The only thing it's really listing here is sugars. It's like their daily dose. Percent of daily value. Oh, 12% of how much you're supposed to get. Oh, okay. I need to drink 10 of these. Oh, 8 of these. 8 of these. Oh, 8 of these and 8 of these. I have lost my taste for tasting. I will not taste anything else. What is the point of tasting anything when I will finally have nothing left to taste? And my tasting shall end for good, and I cannot go on knowing that I cannot taste always, and never be interrupted in tasting things. Why are there more nipples for me to taste? Nice, tender, loving nipples that will never require alimony. I mean, why isn't somebody building that? Nipples that will never require alimony. Alimony-free nipples. I want to see t-shirts on women saying alimony-free nipple sucking. I'm like, I'm there. Where do I sign? Matrimony-free lovemaking. My penis is with you. A night is forever. Hallmark is like, last night was like an eternity. I feel like when I saw you in the motel bathroom in the morning, it was like we'd been married for years. And then we had a sudden divorce brought about by a very pleasurable deus ex machina when Jim Carrey flew in on a parachute made of butterflies and wasps and decided to stick his tongue down your throat. The marriage was declared over, no contest, and Jim Carrey went away with you and said to me, "Yo, fella, thanks for being a good sport." And I said, "No problem, Jim. Good timing." And he's like, "Yeah, man." And then as soon as he leaves, there's this really beautiful girl with short shorts and a really tight ass rollerblading down the road. But she falls. She's okay. But she craps her pants. And so I look over at another girl who's sitting reading a book. It's Dickens. She's got a long flowing coat and she's got an umbrella. She's not waiting for a bus. She's just sitting there enjoying the world around her. And so, of course, I begin to stalk her. I stay at a fair distance, examining her furtively. She's quiet. She doesn't see me. She's so innocent. I wonder what she's reading. Oh, am I asking too much to know what she must read? What is going on in her mind right now? I must know. I must. I know. I'll make it up in my mind. Heathcliff has just won a contest to enter into an apprenticeship with the local cobbler. And yet his girlfriend, Henrietta, will have none of it, for her father will not allow her to marry a cobbler. He must be a magician who can make money come out of his own ass, because if he can't, my dad will never be happy. Of course, the irony is too much for both of them, and so they get together by moonlight and kill each other. Yes, that must be it. Love that comes to certain ruin. That's good love. It's not like they're reading books like, and then they just had a wonderfully sensible life and paid all their bills, worked hard, took their children to school, and always had time to play and behave and do our home trip, cut up into various little time units that fit on a calendar in a box that slowly marked away the end of our lives. Until a man who sang like Jesus getting a little in return. Jesus is getting a little in return. Jesus is getting a little in return. Isn't it time that Christ got a little bit back? Yes, he can. Got a little bit back. Yes, he can. I think that Mary needed a son, so she could make Joseph come. I think God didn't need his son. I think he needed a way to roll up everyone into a monetary system that he could smoke and make himself. What does God want? What is the motivation of God in the Bible? Like every character, I think the reason why Milton doesn't write a lot about God in Paradise Lost, although they have some very interesting philosophical things to say about the immutable nature of God's will, which requires no characterization but to be represented and amorphously gathered up into the various exploits of the principle or the force of Eros and Gamos and Christos and whatever the os, that such and such a thing must happen for the perfection of such a will, as forms upon itself the necessity of such a sacrifice that its own flesh and blood can barely live without it. Now, that notwithstanding, there is some considerable curiosity for me as to the motivation of our Lord in those tales of his sports among the biblical people. What does God really want? Nothing. The guy is without any fucking desire. That's what I don't get. I don't trust that. You never figure out what God wants. The Jews of the Bible, they want something. Everyone wants something. You notice like in any kind of player story, everyone like wants something. But what does God want? You might say, oh, obedience. Who the fuck wants obedience? What does obedience do for God? What can he do with obedience? Oh, he can have war. He can make people do shit. I'm like, okay, this is a guy who can create everything. He needs to like make people do shit. I mean, I know maybe it's a bit much to imagine that God needs a little bit of pleasure in his cosmos, but I think what the fuck is the point of making creation when you always know what the fuck is going to happen? It's like, what's an example? It's like watching a fan go back and forth. You're telling me that the creator of the universe just sits back and like, so, or it's not even going back and forth. It's like, it's just sitting there inert from one cosmic second to the next. And God's like, that is all it is. I hear your voices as one inert echo, like the thud of the ambivalent care which has been meted out to thee from the beginning and gathered up as pure and excessive debt and morbidity. Wait, erase, erase, erase. Love and tenderness. Because even God's subconscious makes mistakes. The truth will out. Now, you might be wondering, how could you continue talking at this point? You have erased, defecated, placated, supplanted, and routed so many things which many normal people would have considered far more interesting a way to spend one's time, that homework could be done, notes could be taken, food could be prepared, and vaginas could be royally played with until a raucous noise escapes your tender lips, which should only need the addition of the sound of my name to complete one's evening exploits. Landon, by the way. Say it multiple times and you will get extra credit. Oh no. What has just happened? I've just asked girls to say my name when they're masturbating. What did you do today, honey? I went on YouTube to ask girls to say my name when they finish touching themselves. I don't know, like, I'll say your name. I mean, every day I'll say a different name, like Clara, or Denise, or Bob. What? Bob. Oh, Bob. Oh, John. John, you're so tight with your money. Oh, this bolt is so tight. I'm just going to screw it in as hard as I can. Oh, I think it needs a little more grease. Get it in there. The wife comes home, it's like, what the fuck are you two doing? It's like, oh, we're just fixing the door jamb, honey. We don't fuck till you go to sleep. Oh, you're gonna burn. You're gonna burn. I see the flames burning. You know what? I don't mind fire. Fire purifies. I like picturing myself in hell. I'd be like, hey guys, hey, I'm finally warm. And look who I met. It's Sam McGee. What a guy. Sam McGee from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the South to ride the poles, God only knows. And why does only God know why Sam McGee left his home? Because heaven is like a mother. It's exactly why your reach is supposed to exceed your grasp. Else what's a mother for? Because she has abandoned you. She has abandoned you. If the father be not there, then the mother has given you a scare. If the father be not present, your mother is not going to heaven, unless she exceed the grasp and the reach of the long-haired, palm-faced, horny man. Horny for the life in his veins, horny for the great green mountains and the wonderful mists of rain which coat his face on the way to his job or school of choice or detention, for he will make the most of it and will find pleasure and pride in the many wonderful careers which shall be offered unto him, and unto dues that he shall never repay, that shall not reduce or abuse him, but shall elevate and advance the many people to whom he has lent the sum of his person and the capitalization of his flesh and blood from that mother's own, where death itself were born day to day, measured out by the hours of our own prostitution. What the fuck is he talking about, man? He's black, he's not black, he's blurry as a motherfucker. I'm gonna smoke some weed until he becomes clear again. I have a funny feeling someone's gonna knock on my door at some point and tell me shut up. I have this feeling. Oh, thank you, neighbors. Thank you. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me lonely when I am gay. I once saw a seagull, a gull of the sea, and it did fly around me with such a wonderful white feeling of spirit goodness that I did feel into myself a reckless desire. It passed before the seat of mine own judgment, and I did gaze upon that desire like a beautiful little fairy with tits of gold and a vagina that just oozed with green sap and mossy trunks of trees. Grasses where little bugs and beetles walked around, and nothing but the sound of goodness was the music of that place. Now, if you be so kind, so kind as relate to me the purposes of my confinement these many years, that I might minister to thee who has chief of the causation of my confinement to this place, that thy flesh and blood has not been accounted for with all their labors come due upon the capitalization of thy flesh and blood, and the names thereof, which have carved out a great and mighty undercurrent, a subterranean palace in the cavity of thine reproductive vacuolas, testicles, uterus, and other cavities, where the peoples that run the world have built their secret bases. Secret bases in our dark places. Even now, Darth Vader is being carried from one cave system to another, like Santa Claus, giving a little touch of his lightsaber to the inside of your heart of darkness and making you his own. So if you feel a little scratch down there, you know what I mean. Now, mind you, little lightsaber on the inner tube has been shown by 9 out of 10 doctors to be extremely painful. The 9th, the 10th one said they really liked it. Oh, that's okay. You know what? Because it's okay because I say so. You know, people make a lot about positive affirmations. Here's a positive affirmation. There are no positive affirmations. They're gone. They're already, let's go beyond positive affirmations to a place where they're all over. You hear that beeping sound? That's the machine keeping you alive. And no, I'm not, and you're like, shit, that went so quickly. And things that I was sad about and then had to accept and then spent my life being sad about and then not sad anymore because I ran out of things. I couldn't feel sad anymore, so I went numb, and it felt like peace. It's just layers of sadness piled on each other so that you could actually measure the millions and millions of years worth of agony which had become my scarred and feeble flesh. Because life was so sad, and I wish everyone could just say how sad it was, that in the passing desires and the furtive looks and the shy and bashful and confused or aggressive looks and countenances of man, there is an ocean of sadness. Sadness. And the guilt that we do not say what we mean, or we didn't say what we want to say, and what has got our voices caught? Because I know that they are perfect when we're young. Because without a great and mighty voice, you would not have been born in the first place. And with that great and mighty voice, a child could be aborted, and they would leave their flesh and blood, even to a world that thought nothing more of it than makeup and cheesies. But like a seagull in a garbage dump, that flesh and blood had actually cleaned the world. And when that baby makeup was applied to some young prostitute's face in Taipei, she looked into the mirror and she saw her own young face beneath that makeup, and she knew that she was still herself. She was still herself. That this mask allowed her to survive. It allowed that baby to survive. It allowed her flesh and blood to move in a world of deep, sad darkness. And that her shade or spirit should dwell in such a place was all that kept those lamps upright. It was all that really fed the hope of every silent voice that wept at night. This is the true, sad, but unrelenting power of man's. Oh, I feel it in my bones. I got the stones that been rolling in my bones. I've got a feeling, I don't know. I've got a deep, deep fear that my feelings are only gonna grow. I think my face, my neck and eyes, I think my chest and my stomach and my thighs, they've been growing every day. And yet this thinking, and I never know what to say. And like I shake this bottle, and wave it in the air. I can't think of any people that I've known without a care. That care was a steeple at a church of the past, where these strange kinds of people shook our hands, and I could say thank you. Look at this earth and sky. I prepared this temple for your mind. And bring your guitars and your faith in God. And leave it at the door, 'cause we're gonna have our music. And we're gonna know something. And something that you know right now, that is waiting for that temple, waiting for that sound. And do you think you'd be here breathing if you had not dropped that guitar and made the very wood the forest from which it was constructed when you grew that little heart inside your mother's womb? And don't forget that what is sacred came from the dead, and from the bones like the stones of that sea. Did you draw your breath into my body out of she? Woo! Like a siren to the sun, like the many paths through which your blood will run. Don't think a thought has not, like some incredible whale, been driven out of such a land and a veil, a fog of mist and mighty limbs that creak and crack. Your mind can think about it and you never know how vast, how many trees are even now drawing like my breath, spells that speak of realms that cannot but death deliver thee there. And I don't know that dark knowledge. No. And if I did, I would not say. If I did, and you wouldn't tell me either, but we would go to some stone grotto, some beautiful clear stream passing through some muddy bank, where perhaps some boughs of pine scent the air, a stone or two that young men and women have carried in their palms for good luck, and many cares which course through the human breast that do find such solitude as presses those cares into the most ephemeral prayers that man can offer to his God, and the emptiness beyond, and the loveless hungers which are pressed like warmth is pressed down and down and down, and at its weakest and at its coldest yet must come back from the dead like blood from a stone. Oh, we're talking about ancient wisdom now, aren't we? Ancient wisdom, palm to palm, as lovers may. You know, the only time I know anything about lovers is when I use it in poetry. I know nothing about. Anyway, it's, that's great. That's great. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Okay, let's go to the bad things. Sex, bad things. Gonorrhea. Having to spend time with someone that is a total psycho because you've just taught to be polite to the opposite sex. It's like, she's sitting there going, fuck, that's not what I meant. I mean, like, spanking me, making me say daddy. It's like, Oh, right. Okay. Well, but then after that, all those other things. Well, my daddy did like to spank me. Oh, fuck it. I don't want a dirty. No, I'm just kidding. You can't kid about that shit. You can't sacrifice children to that perverted references which you made to a father spanking the asshole of his own daughter. Why is it we trespass upon such sacrilegious territory? Because it's sacrilegious and it's territory. It's like, imagine entering a place called sacrilegious territory. Like, you close your eyes, you're in a character, like, you hear goats bleeding, like, you don't want to look, you're like, you're chickens. It's like, there's like children crying, and then all of a sudden they're laughing, and then they're crying again. You're like, no, no, no. And then you open your eyes, and it's like, there's a bunch of beautiful people just talking and mingling, and it was just the last illusions from the realm that you've just been cast from by something that those dark and ignorant people call death, but which people here call the western and wandering winds that come and deliver to them such spirits as they can but kindly ignore as you pass among them and begin to feel the gentle condensation of safety which has wandered long from its natural arrangement, but not for any failing, but having launched oneself from such a place alone where such a safety may be known as naturally as the wind upon any sea, so natural an inhabitant as these heavenly realms, these waters, free and true, and gold and green, and luscious to the most wonderful and vivid range of senses which gave birth to your senses. They are the ancestors of your finest and most beautiful terrestrial euphoria. Dreams of your dreams. The places where your dreams were predicted. Places or waters from which our dreams may draw the stuff which makes them as well real. And of the electrical intelligence of our fleshy self. A temple which communes as would we. Holy shit. Really got a good one there. I suppose I should think about bed at some point. I've just been... Let's see, let's check. It's just... Oh, 7:46, that's not bad. YouTube isn't responding. One, 2, 3, 4... Oh, cool. I was greatly enthused by news from the Middle East. I should give like fake news. I was greatly enthused by news from the Middle East. Apparently, it's still in the middle, and it's still in the East. Hence the term Middle East. It's a place where people wear towels upon their heads and breathe sand like it's sugar and confetti. No, I don't know. I know that no one has lived in the world that has not become rather apathetic about the constant conflagrations of the movements of such a blithering band of obedient barbarians as should meet the American people. And introductions should be had by all, and attended by the many kings, queens, and princes, and dukes of the world. You should mingle among them in their various garb, and you should hear their pleasant smiles and their bright, beautiful eyes will gaze upon our children. Laws will be concocted by Hollywood screenwriters like children can only pass through the hands of 3 strange men before they must be washed and renewed for the vigors of the evening. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know where these things come from. I can't explain it. Fishes. Why do I see a fish in my head? It's like, swim on, man. Swim on. Don't take the bait. Okay. 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 When screenwriters write shit, you don't blame them, do you? Okay. That's it. I've had enough of this silly foot and pussyfooting. The only pussy I've ever had is pussyfooting. You know, it's like I'm always pussyfooting around. It's like, whoa, at least it's got some pussy. It's like, hey, I'm gonna have some pussyfoot tonight. I'm gonna pussyfoot around. It's like, whoa, that's some good old pussy there. Pussyfooting. My girlfriend's name is Pussyfoot. My name is Tenderfoot. We met while I was waking off in the forest yesterday. Pussyfoot, come here. No, right here. Just around here a little bit. Pussyfoot over there. Pussyfoot over here. Pussyfoot a little bit down there, maybe by the stream. Maybe wash yourself a little bit, you bitch. Yeah, she's a dirty whore. That Pussyfoot out there. Wait, what's that? Tenderfoot. You should come here and quick with your fun making and your bitter mirth. I'm taking out my breasts to let the salmon suck upon my tender, but obviously very strong and very durable nipples. Our children shall hang upon them as they begin their careers in cliffhanging. Our children will be like hanging on walls as like living advertising. It's like, how long have they been hanging there? Oh, 3 days. They started on their mother's nipples. She's Russian. Oh, I see. I would love to hang on a Russian woman's nipples. I would hang on their every word. Oh, did they just say something? Oh, no, I need a drink. Can you give me a drink? Give me a drink. Oh, anyway, so then she said, that my nipples or my lips were chapped, and that my man wouldn't kiss me any more than he would kiss, rotten apples with boogers. And I was like, my mouth tastes better than rotten apples with boogers. Yeah. And then I kissed her. And I kissed my best friend. It was like, wow. And we're like, yeah. Hey, I love this story. I love it when my girlfriend Pussyfoot comes over and talks about kissing her friends. It's like, really? Was it a good kiss? Did you guys touch each other? It's like, did your hand kind of run down her spine? And did you feel the kind of slough beginning slant and slope of the beginning of her pelvic girdle? Did you move it down her thigh and kind of wonder which direction you want to go to, the land of beautiful ass or the land of ripe, plentiful wineries of warm, wet, moaning pleasure that obligated you to begin coitus of some kind, perhaps with a suitable implement or appliance located in the left-hand drawer? Now, if that's a little too much exposition for a romantic story, you might try it instead. And then she put her face between her legs and licked her crevice to crack, singing like Jesus when he was getting a little back. And you're like at Christian camp going, hey, where did this book come from? And why are these pages stuck together? I would like to write seditious material for Christian camps. You know, when they go to the bathroom and they read a little thing like, "The devil is not always bad. Follow me, room 102, Sheraton, December 24th, 2025. I will show you the pleasures of the demonic one. The horned one shall greet you and initiate you into the plentiful riches of Talia, Shire of the many sports of the vajayjay." The ceremony of the meat and the cask will be performed by a genuine rabbi and a comedian from Star Search. There is an application form. Number 1, do you have foreskin? 2, are you fond of it? If you have a problem with the previous request, just understand that in ancient times they required a pound of flesh. All we require is 0.3 ounces. We have some calipers to measure it. Ouch! Oh, that's perfect. Just fold it up and put this antiseptic on it, or allow the rabbi to suck on it until it begins to cauterize itself. Your red blood cell count tells us that your clotting agents will start to align themselves after he finishes sucking for about a minute and a half, and his eyes roll into the back of his head as the power of Yahweh and Yesputum start to convulse through his body, and the sacred Torah opens up its true mysteries. I'm sorry, that's actually the most beautifully anti-Semitic comment I've ever made. I mean, it's just like, I think I really can slide that in there. I think it's all right. I think it's okay. I think that'll make the YouTube censors. What do you think? We'll take a chance. You know, it's like, I'll apologize profusely. Like my blood coming out of my penis. It's like, woo. A 50-year-old circumcision. It's like, I'll tell you what. If you don't strike me, I'll circumcise myself during Yehuda. I'll make some yentels. Oh, pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, I kinda like to meet a pretty woman. I saw a pretty woman I'd like to meet today. The thing is, they're all like 15. I couldn't see close enough, but I'm pretty sure she was probably 15, but she had a beautiful ass. I mean, it's just, you wanted to tell a story about that ass, about how she came for a picnic, and you spent certainly the first 3 minutes or so absolutely completely forgetting how beautiful her legs and the wonderful country of her ass. Like, can you touch it? Can you touch it? Really? Is it time? Because if it's not the time, it won't be right. But it's like a dimension that opens up. Like, when it's the right time to touch your ass, time will stand still. And she'll be like breathing in your ear, and you'll be like, wait a second, I'm talking about touching a 15-year-old right now. It's like, oh, I better stop that. I mean, time stopped, age became irrelevant. What can I say? I was speaking as a 15-year-old, obviously, you know, because you can't touch them until it's the right time. There was a moral to that story, you'll notice. It's called The Right Time. It's a story for children. My children. The right time. Because if it's not the right time, it might be a felony. It might be a felony if it's not the right time. If you have to wait 1 to 3 years, it's probably not natural. How you doing, man? You can go to coffee shops and see middle-aged men like me and be like, how you doing, man? Oh, you're waiting till her next birthday, aren't you? Yeah, you got me. I met some girl on Facebook who's 17 and a half. I tell you, there's some horny, stupid women out there. I had like a 15-year-old, I was going to say hooker, stalker for like 3 years. And it's like, I mean, you just have to honor the fact that, Jesus Christ, I mean, there are people with serious issues that will, you know, hook into my serious issues. But, yeah, no, I was sitting there going, oh, yeah, I'm waiting till her birthday, yeah. I swear. I mean, just like, it's like they're waiting for the harvest to come in. It's like, yeah, I think those vines are growing every day. That grape is growing. It's ready to pop. Boy, when I come inside of her, it's gonna be like a moist letter through a tender slot. The only question is, what is it gonna say? Is there gonna be code left? Has it got anything that's intelligible in those genetic letters? It's like, dear Clarice, I've really enjoyed being here. My time in prison, my time in prison will seem short compared to the eternity that I spent with you in that one hotel room on 44th Street, where I swear to God, I thought I saw your birth certificate, but I don't know what that was. A list of moon cycles? What the fuck that thing was? It was all a blur. It just seemed like the time was right. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh, I just, just, oh my God, it's so weird to think that girls can be 18 and be sexual. But like, so shouldn't be sexual with older men. Like, absolutely not. And older men can completely feel the hormonal energy or openness of some young women who anything from just having a good day and feeling good about themselves to, have thought about the idea of how appreciative some not too bad and slightly doable older man might be, if only because they seem so enthusiastic. And the poor thing might not know exactly what she's worth. Something I've suffered from actually most of my life. And it really, in a way, I can only describe as mythological knowledge because I have no. I'm only going to guess that it's probably really, 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 really worth being with the right person at any time in life, under any circumstances, especially if someone's touching your genitals. I've just discovered, like, it's disgusting if you're not with a truly decent human being. Which, if you haven't taken time to figure that out, I guarantee you're not with a decent human being. It's kind of like going to the video store and just picking anything, or it's like going somewhere and picking any video to watch on YouTube, or your mom's coming over and you have to choose some like entertainment for the whole family or something. And it's just like, and you randomly pick something and get like porn. You have to actually think about it. You have to take time to get to know someone, and it should be chilling and it's bone numbing to see not if, but what kind of fucking skeletons are living in that beautiful black thing we call the brain. What makes their anus contract and open again, and how similar is it to the responses of movie audiences everywhere? and 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 what that means in the general arc of the evening's events, and whether they involve talking about Dr. Faustus or whatever it takes to stop looking at her nipples until she gets you home to her place and, well, shows you the real thing. I don't know. It just seems to me that it's a damn shame that I've never seen nipples, boobs. I'd like to see them. I like to see them presented to me when they're friendly and like bouncing up and down. Like, hey, you know what? This is just a wonderful addition to my life. When I'm thinking back upon my days a week ago, a day ago, or a year ago, I'm like, well, I did see that beautiful woman's breasts. So beautiful. She was Icelandic. Her name was Heidi. Oh, oh. And I had her there bouncing up and down on the couch. I was watching them go back and forth. Beautiful dark nipples. Oh my God. I asked her questions about her breasts, like, do you like them? Do you touch them? Do you take care of them? Do you think about how they feel when you're bending over? Do they ever hit you in the head? Do you ever think, oh, I need to bat those things away a little bit while you're busy doing your daily chores? Do you find sometimes, though, you just like to lay there and linger over the ideas which might contest with your own difficulties as to the insurmountable pleasures of languishing liquid, vivid pleasure over each delicate mammary gland with the lips of a hungry virgin. Moist, tender, untouched by the salinity of your areola. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, okay. I want to go to bed. Okay, okay. All right, let's wind this baby up. We gotta. Oh fuck, fuck me, fuck you, fuck me, fuck you. It seems a little warm in here to me. Okay, the dog is sleeping. The dog is sleeping. Yeah. Dog is sleeping. Yeah, yeah. The dog is sleeping. Yeah, yeah. The dog is sleeping and I just can't touch him right now. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. The dog is sleeping. The dog is sleeping. The dog is sleeping and I just can't touch him right now. La, 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 la. Wow, what a day. It's so nice to get home and just, I don't know, what can I say? I really feel like a snack. Not surprisingly. Not to be too difficult to man in his temple. Unencumbered, not too difficult to man in his temple. Unencumbered. Oh, well, that's nice. You know, just to kick back. You know, a little darkness, a little meditation. Look, all is well. Get a little clarification. The street light. We've changed the mood. You see, we've changed the setting. Just listen to the traffic. The candle flickering. This is the life. This is as good as it gets, Landon. This is it for me. My life is in my words. I may be the loneliest poet who ever lived. The loneliest poet. A story by Landon. Once upon a time there was a lonely poet who felt abandoned by his family. And he lived to grow his mind in a way that did not permit him to deny that captivating horror which had benighted and inspired his particular, and as he saw his particular challenge in life, that anyone and everyone should be challenged. This was the challenge. This was the greatest challenge of all. It wasn't to perform in any other way, but to try to resolve the awful and precipitous state of being an orphan in one's own home. To be cast out from a nature which in every way supplied its affection for being sufficiently attended to. As much as a flower looks to the sun, do we not feel enticed by those loving attentions which our infancy can but draw forth from the bosom of our mothers and fathers? That like the airlock of a mighty space station should admit the phallic prong of an invading or invited spaceship
from the terrestrial world into its cervical conical cavity. That forgiveness itself should allow our hearts to be acquainted with that love which even may not have to existed to a less forgiving being than an infant, and our infancy thus to be in its way favored with an excess of compassion for those who may for many moons to come remain in all respects but one unworthy of it. And here we spring forth with such zeal as needs such dark and bitter tears, as taste as the very central column of man's most uniform challenge and restoration. And here engines that have never been benighted but by the many hungers which have been correctly called natural, and developed emotional forces which shall not be captured by our words or our laws, but should always escape their penitentiaries, should always escape the mouths and the voices of those unworthy of them, yet to escape the mouths and the lips of those most in need of them, and to take on such a flesh and blood as hungers after that likeness like a wild thing, chasing the sun, limbs of the sun that it would see at its back and at its west and its east and its north and its south, and if but the sound of that celestial tremendum should remain alone, we shall prevail. And darkness has not prevailed any better than that, and nor the light of common day. Is that not a poetry of sorts? Wordsworth, who's he? Barnsworth, Nebuchadnezzar, Rothschild, and Germish, Floyd, and Potemkin. Potemkin, with his trifling odes to his mother's breast and his sister's vagina. But what about Frankenlord over there, with his fascination with the anal tubes of young Catholic schoolgirls? I mean, his one poem, The Black Hole Sun. Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the pain? This darkened cell where men have yelled, and not ever again with that pleasure that a young... No, I don't think that would be pleasurable, actually. What would be pleasurable if these girls were being taught something that they really enjoyed and could be, I don't know, modestly attired and spend most of their time outside and find nothing so enchanting as a good book under a tree to reinstate the natural habitation of such a spirit whose very flesh and blood has breathed the very meaning of time into all things. The meaning of time itself breathed into the flesh and blood of our daughters, that they should breathe whatever things they should like to read, and as such an inhabitant of these worlds as they should never quit, comparing to that heaven from which they come, trailing clouds of glory that need never feel the shades of the prison house. Wordsworth, who's he? Who's he?
Who's he? Wordsworth. Who's he? Shakespeare. Who's he? Who's he, pussy? Now it's the pussy hour. I must talk of pussies now. It's at night, and I might touch myself. It's time to speak of vaginas in that deep, lusty way, which men like lumberjacks do in their tents at night, playing with themselves, hoping the guy on the next bunk is really fast asleep, when in fact he's just learned how to pretend to snore so he can hear you playing with yourself. And then when you finish and go to sleep, he'll play with himself. Okay. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. You know, the tents are very tense. The tents were tense that night. And then the tense people came. The tense people came to us in our tents, and they brought buckets of gruel and ladled it out into our open palms, for we had not the plates and dishes which we had wanted to bring from our houses after the tornado came through our trailer park. And so we did eat that gruel from our palms, greasy as they were, and we did lick them clean with the bitter stank of our own spunk. Did I say spunk? I meant punk. I meant, I don't know what I meant. I guess I was just thinking about spunk and where I might like to point my spunk. You know, point your spunk in this direction, and then you'll hope for an erection. If you stroke it just so right, you'll find that pussy that's so tight. You'll picture breasts of green and gold, and many lips and fold unfold, and thighs and screams and murmurs holy, that you should have your smoke. And holy moly, that's a beautiful vagina. If I was a gynecologist, every new patient I had, I'd be up there like, they'd be like, holy Joe Josephat, what a beautiful vajayjay you have there. Oh, and the sheer amount of pussy hair is the best. I love rooting around in there and finding little bits of food and Cheetos from your last night. I just, whoo, it all, oh, look at that. It's still good. It's still good. Women are like putting food in there because they know he likes it. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. And he has like different euphemisms, like pet names for their vaginas. He's like, oh, look at that dandy-doo. Dandy-dandy-doo. Oh, and your rose smells wonderful today. Oh, it does. Yeast infections are my potpourri. I was a fishmonger for many years. Trust me, this is amazing. You know what? You know what was really? I want to know about Michael Landon's hair in the 1980s. Like, who did that guy's hair? Jesus, that thing had body, hey? Holy fuck! Michael Landon's hair had a huge amount of body. I think in general, men and women's hair in the 1980s had a lot of body. It's safe to say it was a different kind of time. I mean, you know, there was a time you could add a few inches just in hair, you know? If you were wet, you know, you weren't as tall. It's like, you look a little shorter. Oh, it's the hair. Wait until it poofs back up again. I'm 6'3". But I can still pass through a 6-foot doorway. It's amazing. A man should lay with a lady, touch her, know her, feel the warmth of her body upon his head and upon his chest, and she should grab his root, and she should uttereth into the root the sounds of the sacred whore. which are as follows: uttereth, buttereth, bittereth, boo, batil, batai, bati, batu, and ufi, ufi, lufi, owa, opawa, owa, lowa, lowa, owa, lowa, luwa, 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 and I, and gargle now, ladies, gargle, and the Lucifer is here, Lucifer is here, the cock is mighty, Lucifer is stronger, Lucifer grabs the cock, cock grabs Lucifer, they're in a fight, it's to the death, Lucifer has got the cock is fighting back, Lucifer is coming around with a nut, whoa, the cock is showing a tremendous vigor, it wants to survive, Lucifer is covering it with his mouth, the cock is going, no, no, it's too much pleasure, he can't handle it, the cock is beginning to ejaculate, the cock is finished, the cock is done. Now, if I were 16, that probably would have done it for me, but now I'm just sitting there looking out the night going, dude, like, my penis hasn't even moved. Like, I can't even make it stir. If I was a snake charmer, I would starve. Come on, think of some titties. Think of something. You must have seen something horny today. Something that made you want to take a chance and maybe spend some time close to a female. Let me think. A female. There was that bear the other day. I'm sorry. I mean, they look warm. Close, intimate. No. Sorry, don't do that. Shh. Sorry. Bear. No, I mean, the bear helped me find my center, really. See, you really find your center when there's two big black bears right in front of you. And they're like standing on their paws going, hello. One at a time, but still. You know. Oh my goodness. So, how do we finish this thing, people? How do we bring this evening to a close? How do we make it feel like it's not cheap? You know, like we've gone to a motel and just gotten drunk on the Holy Spirit. How do we close it so we feel better about ourselves in the morning and feel like, hey, we did something last night? And I think the best way is to write a beautiful poem. And this poem is going to be constructed by everyone on the planet, okay? We are going to set a spell so that we could say a poem that really speaks in sympathy with the true strength and nature of every single living being that breathes and crawls and dreams and feels from the depths of the earth to the heights of humanity, and every shadowy interstitial substrate thereof that speaketh to thee and speaketh to me as you would speak to me, and I would hear what people would say, and they would hear what I have to say. We would all kind of hear what each other need to say. Pollen hears what people need to say. Pollen flowing through the air hears what people need to say. That a heaven where the rain falls upon many desires, pollen does flow through the air, which hears what many people need to say. And the beast of that air is as a breath to that pollen, that our breath alone may add to the concussions of many springs to come, that we should blow ourselves good night and know that peace which grows everlasting to everlasting, stopping only to reflect upon itself. Oh, and thus has time been stopped these many years, and not in some wan and fruitless reflection, but to restore that hunger which would lay its grasp and well within its reach, of the fruits of these many trees, of the turnings of the heavens and the earth, which do not account, but that we breathe their labors with our own, and our flesh and blood, and the time of every living thing is as one body, whose voices are as dear to me as the beating of mine own heart. That my penis does not lay flaccid upon my pelvic girdle, but that I have a thought about my penis laying there. I have a thought about my foreskin, which does, like me, serve a purpose in society which you would like to know. But shout, for it would be immodest for me to tell you what my foreskin does for me, but that I peel it back and reveal a surprise to very special ladies, which do not know that something good is about to happen soon. Now, is that a sufficient and rousing conclusion to our evening sports? Or must I dig a little deeper and touch myself a little more vigorously, and allow the evening to bring about such enchantments as I should like to send to alight themselves upon so many people, as even in their homes at night should say, there is something here that is from some other place, a lamp and a heart that wanders through the land and redeems us to ourselves. And there is such a one who has wandered naked in this darkness, which might enfold you, a land of oblivion which will enfold the mind its very heaven, should dooms unknown be permitted to speak. And with these mouths, which cannot stay the murmurs of sleepless men at night, these rusty coils, gates of hell and graves of no certain end to our labors, but they had first been supplied such a hell and such a becoming as fruit may grow, that forbidden though it may have been, tastes lusty and of the earth and of the trees, and such fruit as hands like these had grasped, and smelled such a fruitfulness in their palms, that I could hardly have recollect its pungence, which had yet enfolded me safely, a guilty thing, surprise.